Sandwich is a small town in Massachusetts that is best known for not welcoming many large corporations or businesses. Due to this, smaller businesses have taken over for the lack of larger businesses. We sat down with some of the smaller business owners/managers to ask about their thoughts on the lack of larger businesses in Sandwich and to get some insight on how they run a small business in Sandwich.
I think it's good. Keep it a small town. It's hard right now for mom and pop businesses just to survive. So the large franchises, they just kind of wipe out the mom and pop business.
Okay.
I do have strong feelings on that, and as an independent business person, being involved with some of the shop local movements, I've been reading up on more and more on how important small businesses are to our towns and to our states and to our country. And I really think when we look at places like Sandwich, say, which is in a tourist area, the small businesses help give the town its character and spirit. We're just part of many things that give Sandwich that. Yeah. We have museums, we have many things. But I think when you look around at some of the really special small businesses here in this town, you realize how important they can be and how they can play a role in making the town a better place to live.
I grew up here. I know the town. I'm a local, so this was actually my first job.
My father was transferred to the Cape. He was an engineer, and I was in high school. And the oldest of 8 children, they knew they wanted to start the bookstore because it had been a part-time business before, and it stayed as a part-time business here. So really, it's a family business, and we started in 1969.
Quality of food. You try to keep your costs as low as you can for the public, and you try to be consistent and friendly.
Small businesses are up against a lot of competition these days.
Yep.
And some of it, we find it is difficult where someone perhaps can offer something tax-free versus us.
We do some internet advertising. We do mostly word to mouth. We donate to the schools. We support pretty much a sports program at every school level. We try to be family friendly. Just being a small town business, you try to relate to the people that are in town, and you donate to your local fire department, your police department, and to the things that are going on locally, and then they tend to support you back.
Right. When we do some ads, we try to make them big and splashy. We do like a full-page ad in the Cape Cod Times once or twice a year.
It's tough to run your own business, so unless you want to put in the hours and be there 24/7, don't do it.
First of all, I would do something that you really love, because you're going to spend a lot of time on it, and whatever it would be. I would get good advice from people in the field, really talk with both business people as well as people who, in whatever subject you're thinking of doing in your business.
Okay.
Join groups. That made a big difference for us. We have a very active booksellers group, both in New England and also across the country, a national group.
We got the privilege to also sit down with the town manager, who was nice enough to take time out of his busy schedule to answer our questions about small businesses in Sandwich.
It seems like just in general across the country there's way more small businesses than medium or large size businesses. I think the hard part about living on Cape Cod is we're like where so much of the economy is based on like the tourism industry. Like it's more conducive for lodging places or restaurants, not for huge businesses or I think when I think of business I usually think of the big box stores or malls, or I think of large companies that want to headquarter their facility somewhere. So I think just the way Cape Cod grew, back from the 1800s all the way through today, it just didn't make much sense to have like corporate headquarters here, and the traffic just can't, the roads can't sustain like the really big business stuff.
Okay.
because we're part of Cape Cod, there's a regional planning agency, like one of the strongest in the country, called the Cape Cod Commission. So they do a lot of work to see what kind of economic development or businesses make sense. And it's, what's interesting is we might think, oh, we could use some more stores to go to, but when they've done all sorts of surveys from companies who look at this, nationwide, they basically say the Cape has too much retail already, so there's not demand for more retail. I'm not sure, business-wise, why they've decided to do that. There's probably enough market and enough people who live in Sandwich to demand 2 Stop and Shops, but there was I think it was going to be a Shaw's that was permitted for Catuit Road right near the Stop and Shop, and then they ended up selling that land, so they never built it.